So my name is Janelle Eddins. I'm the acting director for the Office of Advanced Reactors. And in that office, we're looking to develop and future commercialize advanced reactors, including molten salt reactors, high temperature gas reactors, fast reactors, and microreactors. So this topic area is meant to help us reduce regulatory risk associated with these advanced reactor designs. And I'll turn over to Dan to introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Dan Warner. I'm the Advanced Reactor Safeguards and Security and the Light Water Reactor Sustainability Program Physical Security Pathway Program Manager. So I'm kind of covering everything safeguards and security across NE. And then I know my National Technical Director, Ben Sapiti, will be on then. Looking forward to hearing from people and helping answer questions that people may have.
Brown is here filling in, is that right?
Hi, yes, this is Mike Brown. I am the National Technical Director for the Materials Protection Accounting and Control Technologies Program. I am filling in for Tansel Seleckler, who is the Federal Program Manager. MPAC sits in DOE NE 43, the Office of Material and Chemical Technologies, and MPAC focuses on the development of domestic safeguards for the fuel cycle, excluding advanced reactors, where Dan and Ben Sapiti cover those safeguards activities.
Yeah, we'll open it up. All right, we'll hang on for a few minutes, I guess. Janelle, as we wait, I don't want to necessarily put you on the spot, but if you do have some perspective or some maybe a quick overview of some of the ongoing activities that you currently have in this area, I think that might be helpful as we wait for questions.
Sure. So I can speak to what we're doing in NE 52. I would have to turn it over to Dan or to Mike to speak to the other areas. But like I mentioned, in the Office of Advanced Reactors, we're trying to minimize regulatory risk for advanced reactors. So what would be most applicable to this work scope is funding research that could be used to address questions in the licensing process. So we're addressing those topics for molten salt reactors, fast reactors, high temperature gas reactors, and as well as microreactors. So any research activities that would help reduce those regulatory risk, answer regulatory questions, those are the types of topics that we're interested in. And we're also interested in similar topics for the existing fleet. So not just advanced reactors, but also the existing fleet as well. Dan, anything to add for ARSS?
Yeah, thanks, Janelle. And from our side of things, like Mike thankfully clarified, I'm really focused on the in the reactor side of things. So looking for new methods for performing security, cybersecurity, material control and accounting for domestic requirements, and in ways we try and be more efficient there, and new ideas. Obviously, in some of the reactor spaces, we're kind of still trying to figure out the best approach for domestic safeguards. So lots of areas for opportunity for funding.
So Dan, I do have a quick follow-up. This is a question that often comes up in the cyber area specifically. When you're talking about the NE program covering cyber, because there are, Department of Homeland Security and others that do cybersecurity style work. What specifically does that mean in the kind of the Office of Nuclear Energy space when we're talking about nuclear related cybersecurity type applications?
That is a good question. I actually was on a call with someone from DOE CSR earlier today talking about stuff. So there's lots of different agencies that have interest. So when we talk about cybersecurity, we're really talking about what's going on in the plant. A lot of times it's talking about cybersecurity for your operational technology, and looking at possibilities of using wireless and how secure wireless, and different ways to secure data, possibly for advanced reactors. We're also looking at the possibility of autonomous operations. So encryption and ways to protect that data to ensure that it's getting where it needs to go. And if we end up in a space where controls are being done across these links, that the correct signals are getting to the correct point where they need to go. So basically everything kind of associated with operating and maintaining the plant itself is what we're really kind of looking at.
So when you're talking about potential exclusion, when we're talking about more broadly on the grid or other things like that, that's where it falls in maybe into a different agencies or a different different DOE offices space. Is that how that's interpreted?
Yeah, the way it kind of works right now, basically, if you look at for existing nuclear plants, and obviously new plants will kind of be in a similar situation, the you have the plant itself that's running the reactor and everything associated with that, and then you kind of have the secondary side of things where it's the generator and what's being used to actually produce power. And that kind of introduces the oversight of both the NRC and possibly the oversight of FERC. So right now, the agreement is basically the NRC will be the sole regulator within the plant. So that's kind of where we're concerned. And then everything kind of past the intertie to the grid becomes FERC's concern and NERC as their kind of enforcement arm. So yeah, so there are other agencies, but as long as you're within the first intertie to the grid, that still falls within kind of our space that's regulated by the NRC and where we're really focused.
Okay, great clarification there. Thank you. Mike Brown. Just want to give you an opportunity as well, and then we'll see if there's any additional questions before we drop off.
Sure. So MPACT is really interested in technology and technique development that helps us to account for nuclear material in the fuel cycle. So think front end of the fuel cycle, back end of the fuel cycle. We also do support the existing fleet, but once again, at the front and back end of the fuel cycle. So things like fuel fabrication at the front end, and whether it be a recycling process or a storage at the back end are areas of interest to us. The types of things that we're looking for are fundamental R&D into detectors that help us to specifically detect uranium and plutonium through the process or in a storage configuration. We're also interested in process monitors throughout any nuclear fuel cycle processing that helps us to track the material through the process. Things that we're not necessarily interested in are general non-proliferation activities, non-proliferation policy type activities, forensics, technologies that are only for nuclear fusion, dose monitoring, weapons R&D, or isotope protection or nuclear medicine are areas that we're not focused on. We are interested in particular in technologies that also support our sister organization, the Advanced Reactor Safeguards and Security Program. So we would like to know if there are multiple uses for a particular R&D technology. For example, if there was a particular measurement device that could work in a pyroprocessing environment and also had application to a molten salt reactor, we would love to see that highlighted as well. Thanks, Drew.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. And I will note that this is one of the notable examples that we use when we talk about combining these work scopes into bigger, maybe broader areas, is the ability for you all as university professors to think holistically, not necessarily program to program, but maybe there is a common technology that can solve some issues with multiple different systems or multiple different technical problems, and so that's a potential advantage. We'll open up for just a couple more minutes of questions, just kind of a last call here, and then I can go over some CINR information. All right, I think that's probably enough time to check to see if we have any additional questions. Just a couple of reminders after this session, if you do have questions related to this topic area 10 on either licensing, safety, or security and safeguards type applications, please extend those to NEUP@inl.gov. We will filter those and get those out to the right program managers with these large areas and help you find the answer to all of your questions. I do want to remind everybody about some due dates. that are coming up. June 26th is our pre-application due date. Those are required to be submitted to be considered in any of these topic areas. So it'll be kind of fast and furious over the next month to get those applications in. And we'll look forward to seeing all of your applications soon. Ben, I saw you just came in. We didn't get many questions, so we're just wrapping up now. So thank you for attending, but we're calling it a wrap.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks. Take care, everyone.